Now you're on.
Are we on? Are we on? Are we on yet? You're not supposed to do that. Don't say that. Don't say, oh, just a minute. Let me see what this is on. Hi, I'm Bill Harley. It's still him, and you're still you, aren't you? Or maybe you're not. Maybe you're like somebody else now. So I'm going to be here with you for a little while today. I hope you're good. I hope you're hanging in. I got some thoughts on that later about hanging in. Here's a song that probably you haven't heard because I've never recorded it, but it's kind of fun. There's something in the bucket in the there's something in the bucket in the bottom of the well. What's down there in the bucket? You never can tell. I pulled it up to take a look, see, great big frog just looking at me. I said, hey there, frog, what do you know? The frog just said, ribbit, I gotta go. The frog hopped off, the frog hopped off fairly well. I put the bucket down in the bottom of the well. There's no rehearsal here, this is all the show. There's something in the bucket in the bottom of the well. What's down there in the bucket? You never can tell. I pulled it up to take a look, see, a great big snake looking at me. I said, hey there, snake, what do you know? The snake just said, I gotta go. The snake slid off. I said, fairly well. I put the bucket back in the bottom of the well. So you know this zipper song, right? You just take one word and you change it and the whole meaning of the song changes from verse to verse. There's something in the bucket in the bottom of the well. What's down there in the bucket? You never can tell. I pulled it up to take a look, see, a great big goat looking back at me. I said, hey there, goat, what do you know? The goat just said, I gotta go, man. The goat ran off. I said, fairly well. I put the bucket back in the bottom of the well. There's something in the bucket in the bottom of the well. What's down there in the bucket? You never can tell. I pulled it up to take a look, see. Nay! It was a horse just looking back at me and said, hey there, horse, what do you know? The horse said, how did I get down here? I gotta go. The horse ran off. I said, fairly well. I put the bucket back in the bottom of the well. Okay, I'm going to do this next animal just because I want to make the sound that the animal makes, because it's very strange for the animal itself. If you live in Maine or New Hampshire or maybe Montana, maybe you know what this one sounds like, okay? There's something in the bucket in the bottom of the well. What's down there in the bucket? You never can tell. I pulled it up to take a look, see, a great big moose looking back at me. Or maybe you're Willie Claflin and you got Maynard the moose. I said, hey there, moose, what do you know? The moose said, that's a moose call. I gotta go. The moose walked off. I said, fairly well. I put the bucket back in the bottom of the well. Yeah. There's something in the bucket in the bottom of the well. What's down there in the bucket? You never can tell. I pulled it up to take a look, see. Tyrannosaurus Rex just looking back at me and said, hey there, Rex, what do you know? The Rex said, hey man, I gotta go. The Rex stomped off. I said, fairly well. I put the bucket back in the bottom of the well. Something in the bucket in the bottom of the well. What's down there in the bucket? You never can tell. I pulled it up to take a look, see. A big blue whale looking back at me. I said, hey there, whale, what do you know? The whale said, hey man, I gotta go. The whale swam off. I said, fairly well. I put the bucket back in the bottom of the well. So we could just do this for 35 minutes, but that might get kind of boring, really. There's something in the bucket in the bottom of the well. What's down there in the bucket? You never can tell. It's always something weird. I said, gee whiz, I'm gonna leave that bucket right where it is. Hey ho, what do you know? Hey there, friends, I gotta go. I I'll walk off, say fare thee well. I'll leave the bucket there in the bottom of the well. Okay, that's kind of a new song, you can tell. Okay, so listen, Debbie's pointing at the camera. I have this sign over here. I'm going to show you what the sign says. It's been here forever. Okay, so she was pointing at the sign. So she either means look at the camera, or are you with me? I think she means are you with me, which is when I say are you with me, you say yes, and you can just say yes at the computer, but the computer will not respond and doesn't get it. But if you push the button on the Facebook page, then Mark Zuckerberg gets really excited, and so do I. It's the one thing we have in common. Okay, so let's do some stuff here. How are you? I already asked you that. Okay, there's birthdays. And if you got a birthday coming up and you want me to mention this, because it's like people are watching this, you know. Send me a note on my Facebook page. On my web page. You just go right to the mini concert page. There's a thing you can tag and let me know what's going on. It's your birthday. Anthony Brunetti turned 28 on April 25th. So here's what I'm thinking, Anthony. If you're watching this, I'm thinking this is not the first time you've seen me. Like maybe you saw me 20 years ago or heard me 20 years ago. Or maybe you just discovered me. Okay, happy birthday, Anthony. Anthony is in San Antonio, Texas. Okay. Maybelle Cheney. I love that name, Maybelle. Maybelle Carter. Do you know Maybelle Carter? She's a great musician. Maybelle turned 6 on April 25th. Maybelle, how are your teeth? Are they falling out yet? Have you lost one or two? Because that's when it happens, right? Galadriel Keach is going to turn 4 on April 29th. I'll mention him later because his mother said that he's 3.98 years today, but I think it might be 3.9999. All right? And Grace turned 12 on Sunday. Grace, I hope you had a great birthday. So let me know about what you're up to. Now, I have to put this on. I got this hat. What do you think? It's kind of cool, right? I can do this. I'm kind of like a spy. Kind of like Frank Sinatra. No, I'm not. Forget that one. Okay. But I'm going to take this off because I got to tell a story. Yeah. Barney. Barney was in 4th grade. His last name was Humphnagel. Barney's a weird name for a kid. I mean, it's not a weird name, but, you know, when he started to go to school, they said, "You're Barney, you're a dinosaur." And he was not a dinosaur at all, right? Are you with me? I'm not a purple dinosaur. It doesn't make any difference what your name is. People are going to make fun of it. It's like, your name's Bill. Bill. It doesn't make any difference. Whatever your name is, somebody's going to make fun of it. But what was worse, his last name was Humphnagel, which is a horrible last name unless you have it. And then it's great. And that's his name because that's the name I gave to him. And Barney's in 4th grade. He goes to Hieronymus Bosch Elementary School. Yeah, right over the school, there's a sign. Hieronymus Bosch Elementary School, the Garden of Earthly Delights. And so one day, after school, his mom picks him up, in the circle. And his mom pulls up in the car, and he opens the door. He gets in the car and shuts it. I can't wait to get home. She pulls in the driveway. He says, out of the driveway. He says, "I can't wait to get home." And his mother says, "Okay, honey, but first," "Oh, no, Mom. I just have to stop." "Mom, at the supermarket." "Mom, we go there every day. I have to get something for dinner." "Mom, please." "It'll just take a minute." "Mom, you have no idea what a minute is." She said, "Stop that." So they drove down the street till they got to the supermarket. And it was one of those big supermarkets. You with me? Yeah, one of the big ones with the big, huge parking lots that are hardly ever full. And his mother pulled in the parking lot, and she said, "Now, do you want to go with me?" Barney could never decide which was the best thing to do. Whether he should go with her and try to help her speed her through the store, or since he was old enough to stay in the car for a little bit at a time, this is a safe story, I just want you to not worry about that, he would stay in the car, and it would just make his mother nervous, and she might go faster. He could never decide. But his mother said, come on, why don't you go with me? He said, okay, I'll go. So they walk across the parking lot, and they get to those doors, those big doors that open, you know, automatically. They go, and they walk in, and they're in the little alcove. Barney wants to help his mom, so he goes to get one of those little hand baskets. And she says, oh no, honey, I need a cart. No, Mom, not a cart. No, I need it. No, Mom, not a cart. Come on, don't be silly. No, Mom, you'll be here forever. It'll just take a second. Oh, good. 1. Let's go. Stop it, she said. So they go into the supermarket. And he hates how his mother shops. It's like she's never been in the supermarket before. They go there every day because she's pushing the cart, and she stops and she looks up at the shelves. And she looks at the things as if she's never seen them before, right? Then she takes something down and another thing down that's almost exactly alike, and she looks at it, you know, like she's trying to choose, like one of them, like she's in like a folk or fairy tale. One's going to say, pick me, pick me. The other will say, pick me. Just take one, Mom. Stop it. So she puts it in the cart. They go down the aisle. They're going up and down the aisles. And they're going pretty quickly, and Barney thinks, this is good. When all of a sudden, he hears his mother say, Alice! Oh, hi! Alice, hi! Oh, no, it's his mother's friend, Alice! Oh! And his mother's friend, Alice, comes and says, oh, hi, Gloria! And they're talking blah, 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 blah. Barney thinks, I'm going to die. Standing there. But finally, they get going, and they're almost to the end. And his mom says, oh, I forgot lettuce. I got to go back. No! It's like going back to square one and then starting the whole game over again. They go back and get the lettuce, and by the time they get to the checkout line, the line is a mile long. And Barney says, ugh! His mother said, what is it? I'm going to be the only boy in the history of the United States of America who starved to death in a supermarket. She said, you know what? I've had it with that. If you're going to be like this, you just go stand outside, you stand right by the door, and you wait for me. Barney said, fine. So he walks out of the supermarket. They close behind him. He's standing by the door waiting for his mother. Maybe you've had to do that before. Are you with me? Yeah. And the door's open. And he turns to see who it is. And at first he thinks it's his mother because the cart is filled with bags and bags of groceries. But it's not. And he can't believe who it is. Are you with me? It's this little old lady. And even though it's a warm day, she's got this dark red, this maroon coat, you know, like almost like a winter coat, and it's all the way down to her ankles. She's got this little blue hat, it's called a pillbox hat on her head. And the cart's huge, and she's pushing the cart like this. And she gets up to the edge of the sidewalk, and she stops to see if there are any cars coming. And there aren't, but now she's got a problem, see? Because the cart has hundreds of pounds of groceries, and she only weighs like 83 pounds. So she's pushing and pushing in the cart, and nothing's happening. And Barney's heart goes out to her. So he walks up and says, excuse me. And she says, oh, hello. He said, do you want some help? Oh, are you sure? No, I can help. Are you sure everyone's so busy? No, I'll push the cart. She said, oh, thank you very much. She said, my car's over there. And she points, and it's the far end of the parking lot. A half a mile away. Why would she park there? This little blue car, old and faded. And he says, I'll help you. And he starts to push the cart across the parking lot. And she says, wait for me. Barney slows down. And she's walking along next to him, and she's chatting, and she has this pocketbook hanging from her arm, and the pocketbook's half her size, is dragging along the ground. And they finally get to the car, and she says, now, let me see if I can find my key. And she means it. She looks in the bag, she's looking down there, she pulls out the key, and it's not even on a keychain. It's not like an automatic key. It's just a key. And she fumbles with the lock. She gets the door open, and then Barney reaches around and he undoes the lock on the back door, and he opens up the door, and he takes all those bags and bags and bags of groceries, and he puts them in the back seat and shuts the door. And says, there, thanks. She says, thank you so much. She said, you're welcome. She said, now, She reaches in her pocketbook again. She holds this out to Barney. She says, "Would you like a nickel?" Barney says, "No, no, please take the nickel for later. Just a little surprise." "No, I don't need it." "Are you sure?" "No." She said, "Wait, I have something else." She leans into her car, and there on the driver's seat of the car is this old brown wrinkled bag, just as wrinkled as she is. And she reaches in it and she pulls out a piece of candy. Are you with me? You know what kind? It's got red wrapping paper with a twist on each end. She says, "Here." And Barney says, "No, that's okay. Please take it." "No, please take it. You can have it for a little treat later." Barney says, "Okay." He takes the candy, he puts it in his pocket, and he doesn't think another thing about it. He says goodbye to the lady. He walks back to the store, and his mother is still in line. But finally she gets out, and they go home. The next morning, Barney's late getting ready for school. Remember when that used to happen? When you used to be late getting ready for school? Remember how stressful that was for everybody? And his mother, it's not quite clear whose fault it is, right? And Barney's in such a hurry to get dressed, he just puts the same pair of pants on he wore yesterday. And his mother drives him to school. And she drops him off in the circle. And there's a lot of kids there, but the school hasn't opened yet. There's a teacher outside. Don't worry, it's a safe story. But he's standing talking to a couple of his friends, and he just puts his hand in his pocket. "What's that?" Actually put it in his pocket, didn't he? Very exciting. It's the piece of candy. And one of his friends says, "Hey, Barney, where'd you get that?" He said, "I helped this lady yesterday, and she gave it to me." He said, "Can I have it?" And he said, "Yeah, it's okay. It's just a piece of candy." He puts it in his friend's hand. His friend looks at the candy and says, "Never seen a piece of candy like that before." Barney says, "It's just a piece of candy." His friend unwraps it. "Oh, I've never smelled a piece of candy like that before." Barney says, "It's just a piece of candy." His friend puts it in his mouth. Oh my gosh. This is the best candy in the whole world. Barney says, "Really?" His other friend says, "Barney, do you have any more?" Barney says, "No, she just gave me one." There was another piece of candy in his pocket, just like the first. Are you with me? He said, "That's weird. She must have given me two." His friend says, "Can I have it?" He said, "Yeah." He puts it in his friend's hand. His friend looks at it and says, "I've never seen a piece of candy like that before." He unwraps it. "I've never smelled a piece of candy like that before." Puts it in his mouth. Oh my gosh. This is the best candy in the whole world. Barney says, "Really?" Just then the bell rings. The doors open. The teachers say, "Okay, kids, go to class." And the kids go, "Yay! We love school! Yay!" Okay, well, it might happen. Okay, yay! It runs down the hallway towards his class. Now, his class. His fourth grade teacher is named Mrs. Simmons. And there's two things you need to know about Mrs. Simmons. First of all, Miss Simmons is a neat freak. Everything has a place, and everything in its place. We cannot learn if we are not neat. Neat. And the second thing is, she was completely in love with reading. Like, read, until you think you're going to throw up. Read. So anyway, they get into class, and there's morning work. Like, you guys always have morning work. You're working even before school has started. They're making you work. And so Barney's working on probably math, right? A lot of times it's math. It might be spelling words, I don't know. But he's doing a math problem, and he makes a mistake. And he looks in his desk for an eraser, and he can't find one. He says, "Yeah, I got one in my pocket." It was another piece of candy, just like the first and the second. He puts it in his desk. It was another piece. Puts that one in his desk. Was another piece. And another one. and another one, and another one, and another one. Every time he puts his hand in his pocket, there's another piece of candy. Another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. Woo, 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 woo. He's got about 250 pieces of candy in his desk. And just then, Mrs. Simmons says, class, eyes to the front, eyes on me. All right, we're about to begin. We're going to start with reading. It's so important. I hope I've told you that before. I want you to remember that. But before we do, I have to tell you, class, one thing before we start class. I was walking around the classroom yesterday after everyone left, and I noticed some of you have very messy desks. I don't know how you learn anything. So before we do anything else today, we're going to take 10 minutes, and we're going to clean out our desks. So I'd like you to take everything out of your desk and clean it out, and I'll be coming around to help. And Barney thinks, ah! Ah! She's got 250 pieces of candy in your desk. She says, I don't want anything in your desk that does not belong in school. Ah! Barney says, what am I going to do? Miss Simmons starts walking up and down all around the desks, and all the other kids in Barney's class are taking their books and their notebook papers and their pencil boxes out, but Barney's just sitting there. Finally, Mrs. Simmons gets to his desk. Are you with me? Right? And she says, Barney. Huh? Barney. Oh, hi, Mrs. Simmons. Good morning. Yeah. Your desk? My desk? Your desk. Oh, yeah. Yeah, my desk. This is my desk. That's why I sit here. It's my desk. Yeah, we're cleaning them out. Oh, right. Could you clean? Oh, yeah, I'm glad you're cleaning them out, because some of these kids, messy desks, Miss Simmons can't learn. Barney. Yeah. It was your desk. What? Your desk was the messy one. Would you clean it out? Could you just do that now? No, wait, that, oh no, you're right, it's a disaster, or FEMA, call them up. I mean, it's so bad. I was just thinking that, I don't think I can clean out in 10 minutes, so I think I was just staying in from recess while you're the playground monitor, and she said, I want you to do it now. I think I should do it later. Do you want my help? No, but before he could stop her, she looked in his desk, she said, Barney! Yeah. What is all that candy doing in your desk? I don't know. What, did you put it in there? Yeah, I did. You brought all that candy in from home? No, I didn't do that. I don't understand. Neither do I. Barney, he said, I don't know. I'm sorry, Mrs. Simmons. I'm not trying. I don't know what happened. I had a piece of candy in my pocket, and then I had another one. I always have a piece of candy in my pocket. Do you have candy in your pocket right now? It's just one piece. May I have it? But then there'll just be another piece. Just give me the candy, Barney. But just give me the candy. He says, okay, Mrs. Simmons. There was another piece. He put it in her hand. She said, Barney, we have never seen a piece of candy like this before. Barney thinks something strange is going on. She unwraps it. I've never smelled a piece of candy like this before. She puts it in her mouth. Oh my gosh. Barney. This is the best candy in the whole world. This is right. She says, attention class. Line up for candy from Barney. Barney says, Miss Simmons, what about reading? Who cares about reading, Barney? We got candy. Line up. And listen, when you guys go back to school, if your teacher tells you to line up for candy, do it, okay? The kids look at Mrs. Simmons like she's lost her mind, but kind of in a good way. And they line up. Give him the candy, Barney. Give him the candy. Give him the candy. Give them the candy. Each a piece. Barney reaches in his pocket one by one. He puts a piece of candy in each kid's hand. Each kid says, I've never seen a piece of candy like this before. I never smelled a piece of candy like this before. Oh my gosh, this is the best candy in the whole world. Finally, they each get a piece. He said, okay, all done. She said, good. Time for seconds. Oh no! They're lining up and getting more candy. They're making so much noise. The teacher next door, the other fourth grade teacher, Mr. Dinkmeyer, sticks his head in the door and says, Miss Simmons, get over here, Dinkmeyer. What? Get over here. Is everything okay? No, get over here right now. He comes over and says, what's going on? She says, Barney, give him the candy. Hey, give him the candy. I'm your teacher. Give him the candy. Mr. Dinkmeyer says, Miss Simmons, are you all right? Never felt better, Dinkmeyer. Give him the candy, Barney. He reaches in his pocket. Says, here you go, Mr. Dinkmeyer. Mr. Dinkmeyer says, Miss Simmons, I've never seen a piece of candy like this before. I've never smelled a piece of candy like this before. Oh my God. This is the best candy in the whole world. Let me get my class. Are you with me? The next thing you know, the entire 4th grade in the school is lined up in the hallway. Each kid getting a piece of candy from Barney Humpnagel. Each kid saying, I've never seen a piece of candy like this before. Never smelled a piece of candy like this before. This is the best candy in the whole world. Time for seconds. They're making so much noise that the word gets down to the office that something is terrible. Something terrible is wrong. And this announcement comes over the PA system. Miss Simmons, Barney Humpnagel should report to the office. Down to the office, but bring some candy back. He walks down to the office. Mr. Dibble. He never knew what to do with Mr. Dibble. Mr. Dibble would stand in the hall and go, hello, Barney. That was all he ever did. As far as he knew, that was what the principal did. Hello, Barney. But he walks to the office, and the secretary says, Mr. Dibble is in his office. He's very upset, Barney. He walks in. Mr. Dibble's sitting at his big desk. Have a seat, Barney. Barney sits down. Barney? Yes, Mr. Dibble. What's this I hear about you bringing candy in from home for the entire 4th grade? No, I didn't bring it in. You didn't? No, I didn't. But you gave them candy. Yeah, I did that. I don't understand. Neither do I. Do you think this is some kind of a joke? No, I don't think it's a joke at all. Barney said, I'm sorry, Mr. Dibble, I don't know what to do. Something terrible has happened. What are you doing with the candy? I don't know. I just got a piece of candy in my pocket, and then there was another, and then there was another one. I gave one to my friends, and I gave one to Miss Simmons, and one to Mr. Dingmeyer, and all the 4th grade kids. I can't get rid of the candy in my pocket. You have candy in your pocket now? It's just one piece. May I have it? No. What? No, you can't have it, Mr. Dibble. I want the candy. I know, you can't have it. I'm the principal. That's why you can't have it. Give me the candy, Barney. This is okay, Mr. Dibble, but don't blame me for what's about to happen. He puts it in Mr. Dibble's hand. He says, you know the rules. I'm just going to have to call you. Never seen a piece of candy like this before. Barney says, put the candy down, Mr. Dibble. Never smelled a piece of candy like this before. Don't put it in your... Oh my gosh, this is the best candy in the whole world. He runs to the microphone. Attention all staff and students. Please report to the office for candy from Barney Humpnagel. Mr. Dibble, what about the test? I hate the test, Barney. Give him the candy. And when your principal tells you to report to the office for candy, you better do it. This horde of footsteps thundering down the hall. He looks out the door of the office, and there are hundreds of children and adults lined up. Give him the candy, Barney. Give him the candy now. And one by one, he takes a piece of candy out of his pocket. He put it in each kid's hand, each adult's hand, and everyone says the same thing. I've never seen a piece of candy like this before. I've never smelled a piece of candy like this before. Oh my gosh, this is the best candy in the whole world. It's candy all day long, and there's seconds, and there's thirds, and there's no math, and there's no science, and there's no reading, there's no gym, there's no cafeteria. It's candy all day long. Barney's hand is tired of handing out the candy. He looks at the clock on the wall. It's time to go home, but nobody cares. He looks out the window of the office, and he sees the buses pulling up. And then in their circle, he sees the cars with the parents coming to get their children. But there are no children coming out of the school. And then he sees the doors of the cars open. And one by one, the parents are climbing out of their cars. And Barney thinks, if the parents come in here, it's the end of the world. Mr. Dibble says, another piece of candy. I gotta go. No, you don't. Yes, I do. He didn't listen to Mr. Dibble. He ran out the office, out the front door of the school, around the circle. He saw his mom's car. He ran up to it. His mother was getting out of the car. He said, Mom, get in the car. What? Get in the car. What? Get in the car, Mom, right now. His mother got in the car. He gets in. Boom. Let's get out of here. What's going on? I can't tell you. Let's just go. She pulls out of the circle, down the street, driving home. Barney's sitting in the front seat. Oh, what is going on, Barney? I just want to get home. That's all I want. And his mother says, okay, but first, I just have to stop and get a few things at the supermarket. It'll just take a minute. No! But his mother drives to the supermarket, pulls in the parking lot, and she says, do you want to stay with me? Do you want to stay in the car? And he says, no, that doesn't work. Yeah, wait, what is it? You want to go with me? He says, that doesn't work. I'm staying in the car to make you nervous. She says, fine, I'll be right back. And Barney says, okie doke. And he watches his mother get out of the car, walk across the parking lot. The doors open and close behind her, and Barney's sitting in the car thinking about all the things that have happened that day. And he looks across the parking lot and he sees those doors open. There she is. Barney knows what to do. He gets out of the car and he runs across the parking lot very carefully. Children, you must be careful in supermarket parking lots because adults will just gladly drive over you to get a parking place. So he was very careful and he got up to where she was. He said, hi. She said, oh, it's you. He said, yeah, it's you. Would you like some help? And she said, are you sure you have time? And Barney says, yeah, my mom lives in the supermarket. Let me help you. She said, oh, I have the little blue car. He said, I know where it is. And he pushes the cart slowly so that she can walk with him. And she chatters away, dragging that pocketbook. Just like the day before, she gets in and says, let me see if I can find my key. And she finds it. And she fumbles with the lock. And she opens it up. And Barney puts all the groceries in the back seat. He says, there. She goes, thank you. She says, now, perhaps you'd like another piece of candy. Marty says, no. Are you sure? No, I don't want any more candy. You don't want any? No. You know what I want? What? I want to give you this one back. Would you just take it back now? You don't want any more? No. She said, all right. She took it back from him. And Barney reached in his pocket. And it was empty. And he said, thank you. She said, thank you, and you're welcome. But since you don't want the piece of candy, maybe you'd like that nickel? What do you think? I wrote that story a number of years ago, and I was thinking about I tell folk tales, you know, but I've learned a lot of folk tales and I've read a lot. I'm always thinking about things that happen in a folk tale, and I was thinking about that when you offer a kindness to someone, you don't know what's going to happen because of it. And I was thinking often in a lot of stories, it's the person that everybody ignores that has a gift to offer. And so I was thinking about it. And then there's a lot of stories about somebody getting something, and it just always makes more of it and more of it. There's a Japanese folk tale about somebody who gets a mortar that grinds salt, and it ends up in the bottom of the ocean. And it's just grinding salt, and that's why the ocean is salty. So I was thinking about all those things when I came up with that story. And I love telling that story. That's on one of my recordings. One of the recordings called The Best Candy in the Whole World. Okay, so I've been asking you for good things, and this week I got a lot of them, good things that are happening to you. I'm going to read some of them. Karen Bingham Nanto, did I say that right? Karen Bingham Nanto. We've been going on lots of walks, so have we. We love walking past our neighbors who have peacocks. I will mimic their cries and offer they answer back. Oh my gosh. Have you heard peacocks? The first time you hear it, you think somebody's dying. They go, ah, like that. They're really, really loud. My 2-year-old is now starting to copy me. And I'll be darned if the peacocks don't respond to her little cry as well. That would be great. I get to see the kid walking down the street and going, ah! And people saying, what did you do to your child? Ah! Mom! That is great. Rebecca Shendell. Hey, Rebecca. Last night we saw Strawberries and Peaches. Okay, now, for those of you who don't know, that's a story of mine on The Town Around the Bend about a girl who's just sitting on her porch all the time in the evening. And I always ask her what she's looking for. She says she's looking for strawberries and peaches. And I say, that's ridiculous. I won't tell you the whole story. Maybe so I'll tell you that sometime. Rachel Carol Rivas, we had ice cream floats. And the kids said to tell you, we wore fancy clothes at home. Okay, I'll put my hat on now. I don't know if Barney can handle that. Good for you, wearing fancy clothes. You got to do it. All these people on Zoom in their underwear or their bathrobes. Let's try to clean the act up here a little bit. Lexi, oh, I love this one. Okay, Lexi shared that Sally, our French bulldog puppy, turned 1 on Sunday. She had puppy ice cream. Who knew? I don't even know what puppy ice cream is. You can get puppy ice cream? Like at the pet store, I guess. And we had our favorite ice cream from Cincinnati, even though we live somewhere else now. No, isn't that funny? Like if there's a place that you go to and then you move, no other place is as good as that. You always remember that, right? She listens to your show every week, the puppy, and wants to meet Django. Okay, and then she sent us a photo. And we're so high-tech here, I happen to have a photo we printed out of Sally, who's just turned 1, okay? There's Sally, and in the background I hear Django barking. Must have heard about Sally. All right. The Keach family, okay. The Keach family, they all told me new and good things, okay. Sonia the mom says, okay, this is not an advertisement, but here we go. We got a goodie box full of Bill Harley CDs and swag in the mail. There were kids fighting over shoelaces. I have some weird shoelaces that I send out. CDs and t-shirts everywhere. It was awesome. If you would like to order some stuff, you can go to my webpage, just like Sonia did, and you can have your kids fighting over something, because they probably have not fought for days. Okay, Galadriel, who's 3.9999999, I potty trained myself. Okay, I gotta tell you a story about Dylan, my son. We thought he would never stop wearing diapers. And I remember I asked him once, I was changing his diaper, and he was looking up at me. And there he was, with no diaper. And I said, Dylan, when are you gonna go to the potty? And he looked and said, never, ever, ever, ever. But then 2 weeks later, he came down the stairs and said, I'm done. And he dropped the diapers. We made cookie dough for moon pies. That's from Zelda, a quadruple batch. I really like eating the cookie dough. Yeah, everybody likes eating the cookie dough. Sylvina, age 10, says, or Sylvina, I'm sorry, finished the first book of Dragons of Autumn Twilight. And I'm on the second one now. This series is really cool. You know, I think we're going to have a book day. And maybe, I'm actually thinking about maybe on another thing, I'll read one of my books. I was thinking about reading Darius Frobisher, The Amazing Flight of Darius Frobisher, chapter by chapter, but not in this. And then Risa says, she's 12, I started reading a new book series. I'm now reading The Tainted Sword from the Penhaligon trilogy by D.H. Heinrich. And then Xavier, 14, says, I got to work with my dad installing new flooring. He's earning his keep. Xavier, you got to eat today. I got to draw with Mark Kistler. Now, I don't know Mark Kistler, but maybe that's somebody online. Maybe you ought to check him out. Which reminds me, I have so many friends who are performers and storytellers and singers and all kinds of things, and a lot of them are doing stuff online, and I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to put something up of all my different friends and things that they're doing, so you can check them out, because there's a lot of good stuff online. So, I'm going to, a couple more things to say, but I have a song. I guess I should just say that now. Yeah, so if you go to my Miniconcert, if you go to BillHarley.com, and you can click on the mini concerts things, and if you want to send me a note, if you want to say something good that you've you're learning or you're doing, we'd love to hear that. We'll talk about it here. Or if you're having a birthday, or if you have a question. And this is kind of my job right now, and I'm going to do it. I think I can tell stories longer than the virus. That's my job. Longer than the pandemic. I'm going to outlast this thing, as long as we're all here stuck together. But I really do appreciate it if you want to throw a couple bucks in. You know, it's kind of how we're living right now. I know all of us are stressed money-wise, so... Anyway, this is a song I wrote a couple years ago. I was invited to Japan. I went to 10 different cities in Japan and visited schools there. Almost all the kids in Japan learn how to speak English, and so they were using my stories. And Adam Beck in Hiroshima, he was the one who invited me, who organized the whole thing, and he wanted me to do a kids concert in Hiroshima near the Peace Park. And he asked if I would write a song that the kids could sing with me, and he wanted it to be a song, a peace song. And so this is what I wrote. And I just made a recording of it, but I can't quite finish it because I need my musicians in the room, in the recording studio, to finish the chorus. But anyway, it's called We Sing for Peace. It's a samba. Looking down on Earth from up in space, they say it's really not that big a place. We share the same rain, we share the same sky, we share the same pledge. Our work will never cease. We share the same world, we share the same dream, we share the same song, we sing for peace. All rivers run from mountains to the sea. The breezes blow the same for you and me. We share the same rain, we share the same sky, we share the same pledge. Our work will never cease. We share the same world, we share the same dream, we share the same song, we sing for peace. From where we stand, we know the cost of hate. From where we stand, we know it's not too late. We share the same rain, we share the same sky, we share the same pledge. Our work will never cease. We share the same world, we share the same dream, we share the same song, we sing for peace. One by one, our numbers, they will grow. Voice by voice, we speak the truth we know. We share the same rain, we share the same sky, we share the same pledge. Our work will never cease. We share the same world, we share the same dream, we share the same song, we sing for peace. We share the same rain, we share the same sky, we share the same pledge. Our work will never cease. We share the same world, we share the same dream, we share the same song, we sing for peace. We sing for peace. Thanks for listening, guys. It's so nice to spend this little time with you, and I'll see you on Thursday. I'll be back, okay?